Hello, Destiny 2 community. More importantly, my warlocks. Come here often? Obviously not. But now that you're here, let me show you a little demonstration of what this Warlock Strand build can do for you. Alright. Jokes and tension aside, this build has got to be, yet again, the best Warlock build in Destiny 2. God, this class needs to get a nerf. But to put in perspective, here is me going through the Pinnacle mission, Avalon, on Legend difficulty. And as you can see, with the most minimal skill possible, this still got me through this piece of endgame content with ease. And just the fact that Bungie didn't even hold back with the suspend effect, making it able to suspend champions, makes this build all the better to bring into Grandmaster Nightfalls. And the tick damage that Osteo does paired with necrotic grips will make sure that we will always have our shackle grenade back. But the effects don't stop there. To top off with all this suspend and poison damage we will be doing, we will throw in the Warlock melee to apply the effect of unraveling, making of course even more tick damage occur to enemies. Now getting into the subclass, starting off with the most crucial detail first would be the shackle grenade. Pairing this with Mindspun Invocation will grant you the ability to consume your grenade and apply Weaver's Trance to yourself. While this is active, any enemies defeated will shoot out a burst of energy. Any enemies touched by this field will become suspended. From this point, just laser their crit spot. Now for the fragments that complement this playstyle, for our first one, I'm gonna tell you Thread of Generation. The tick damage that Osteo does, paired with the chaining ability of necrotic grips, there will never be a time where your grenade is not available when you need it. And to pair all that with the fragment Thread of Continuity for the extension in suspend, it's just better synergy. Next, I'll quickly add the Thread of Warding for that 60% increase in resistance. It's just nice to have. And in Grandmasters, it's just better survivability. And now finally for our last fragment, you have a couple of options. For the first option, you can go with Thread of Mind. Personally, I didn't find myself spamming rifts too often for this to be a must-have, but if you feel the need to have infinite rifts always down, then this is the fragment for you. For the second option, you'll just switch it out with Thread of Wisdom. For when you get a precision final blow on a suspended target, they will create an orb of power, which will go greatly with our mods later, but again, it's not needed. And for yet another option, you could go with Thread of Evolution for that 25% increase in threadling damage. And in case you haven't realized yet, the Warlock Strand super is just a bunch of threadlings being launched at a target. So just free super damage. Now it's time to move on with the mods that will mainly just help you with survivability, and some kind of go into your grenade cooldown as well. So getting into it, starting off with the headpiece. Of course, the name of the game is Orb Creation, so you're gonna want to have your respective siphon mods on. And since I am running Osteo, Kinetic Siphon is the one that I went with. The other two slots, just run your standard heavy because ammo is great. Moving on to the arms piece, it's just your standard stuff. Really just have your reloaders on of whatever respective weapon you want it to be on, and for me, I ran a singular grenade kickstart. With the amount of orbs that is being created in the field, one mod is more than enough to eat away at 3 charges to replenish your grenade, but if you want to run an extra one, you're more than welcome to. Because again, Thread of Generation will be doing most of the heavy lifting in terms of grenade energy. For the chest piece, it is just your standard defense mods. If you want, you can run a charged up just to feed a little bit more into the grenade kickstart, but again, it is not needed. Now for the legs, me personally, this is where the survivability is at its most. You can run double recuperation, it does not hurt, but for me personally, I normally like to run 1 recuperation and 1 better already. One just kickstarts my health and the other one will top it off if I don't take any additional damage, but nonetheless, picking up an orb of power to grant you health, and it feeds into your grenade's cooldown, just makes the game easy. And for the last slot, you could go with the surge mod for that 10% increase in damage to whatever weapon you want it to be for, or you can just double down on the grenade energy and go with an innervation mod, because you will be picking up orbs in the end of the day anyways. Now lastly, the class piece, a wild card as I like to call it. I feel like for this build, if you have the helmet and the legs piece just right, everything else doesn't really matter at all. But for me, I went with a couple of time dilations. I just don't think you can really go wrong too much with just a little extra time on armor charges. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. That's the entire build for you guys. As you can see though through this gameplay, I really just tried my hardest to be as brain dead as possible, just to show you how much this build actually carries. But on another note, we just hit over 1,000 subscribers, and I could not thank you guys enough for it. It's honestly heartwarming to think that over 1,000 people liked me enough to show their support. So in the most genuine way possible, I thank you. Now I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you have, why not check out another? The one that should be most recommended for you should be on the screen for you right now. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.